Welcome back to Sub-Zero Hero. Here is the pre-season form, not of our first team. No. This is of our under-19s. The new batch came through in February. I think there might be a prospect or two amongst them that we might be able to work with. Alright, form an orderly queue then. Let's talk you through our first batch of youth players at Tromsdalen. It is a decidedly mixed bag, but within that I think there is a gem or two. We didn't sign them all up. We released 4 of them that had the worst personalities and attributes. To get taken on, you've either got to have a good personality or attributes that mean that we're going to try and mentor the bad personality out of you. One of the ones that the coaches like the best that unfortunately has one of those squiffy personalities is Ollie Christian Trigger, a young goalie who attribute-wise looks like you could turn into a decentish goalkeeper, but a personality of low self-belief does not sound ideal for someone that's going to be between the sticks. So he's already being mentored. A couple of the guys came through with decentish personalities, but their attributes are going to need a lot of work. This is Alexander Blomdahl, a left back. We're going to have to stick at least 3 on every one of his attributes to turn him into a player, I think. But with a fairly professional personality, you never know. We might have a backup left back of the future there. This is little Johnny Watson, who is definitely quick enough to get out there on the wing, but crossing, dribbling, teamwork, vision, work rate, strength, they are not looking anywhere near like a Norwegian third-tier player. So he's got a fairly professional personality. Who knows if miracles will happen, but we'll need to see a lot from him. We've got players like Julian Bakkabor, who, again, has got a reasonable personality, but the determination is poor. He's not training well, and his attributes are not stunning. He's one that I'm already thinking is not going to make the grade. We've got players who did come through with great personalities that have not trained very well. This is Lionel Townrow. For some reason he's English, but he's now living in the Arctic Circle. Attribute-wise, he looked all right, and professional personality you got excited about, but so far in training, he's not done an awful lot and has had a couple of tellings off already. So we'll see whether he goes on and makes it. Let's show you one of the players that came through with decent attributes but a terrible personality. This is Abdul Rahman, who is Iraqi but is living in Tromsø. Attribute-wise, he looked really good, but determination of 1, personality of unambitious. He is being mentored beyond belief here, but whether we can turn this guy around to make him into a player, I don't know. Maybe we could just turn him into a decent player that we can sell on, maybe with a sell-on clause, just to make a little bit of cash out of. Let's show you some of the players that we are a little bit more excited about. In midfield, Asbjørn Eriksson is fairly professional in terms of his personality, determination of 10, which we are fine with, and the attributes are okay, and he's training pretty well. He can pass a ball, he works fairly hard. First touch looks good, crossing looks like he could play wide on the left, although pace and other physicals are not great. Maybe more of a central midfielder. Probably never going to be more than a backup option, I don't think, but we're going to need a squad of these players, not just a first 11, so he looks okay. One of the players that the coaches don't rate at all, that I think actually might be alright, is Kolbjørn Borch, who physically I think is pretty good. Resolute is a lovely personality. For a centre-half, he's got aggression, bravery, determination, and a smattering of leadership as well. I reckon his marking, his tackling, his positioning are all trainable. He's already grown an inch since he came through. I reckon by the time he's 18, 19, he might not be far away from first team football, even though the coaches don't think he's got an awful lot of potential, but I think he could be all right. Let's show you some more of the prospects that I think are quite promising. The coaches liked Hugo Turnerson, and he came through ostensibly as a winger. I reckon this guy could be a striker of the future. He is quick. He doesn't have the best personality. We've got a bit of mentoring going on, but he's got some flair about him. He can pass a ball. Technique and first touch are okay. I think we could get dribbling and finishing up to 10. Composure needs a bit of work too. But I reckon with that pace, if we could stick 1, maybe 2 attribute points on that pace, well, I reckon Turnison could be a player. He's already got 10 goals. Not all of those, by the way, are for the under-19s. We've given him a couple of friendly appearances in the first team, and he has scored for us. So he looks all right. Who else looks good? Well, this guy's not been training well. But this is Andre Gersa, who I think could be an excellent player. He came through as a striker. When he came through just 2 months ago, there was no dot on the right-hand side of midfield at all, but I thought as a right winger might be his best position. His finishing and composure didn't look good enough for a striker, but when you look at his passing vision, crossing and dribbling, and the pace and acceleration that he's got, coupled with a bit of off the ball as well, I reckon he could go on and be a good, maybe even first team right-sided midfielder. Bit disappointed with his training, he's only a balanced personality, but he has one other thing going in his favour that you don't see that often with youth academy players. He's got a consistent performer attribute as well, which is pretty good. By the way, I'm pretty sure old Hugo has the same one. He does indeed. And having a consistent attribute as a striker is something I like. I find personally it means that rather than score their goals in batches and then go long streaks without a goal, they tend to get 1 goal every 2 rather than scoring 8 in 6 and then you don't see them for 3 months. So I like that. Is there anything else to show you? I think there is. I think there's 2 more. This guy. All right, he's got low determination as his personality, but we're working on that. This is a 6'7" 16-year-old target man. Yep, he can't finish, but he's already got strength of 11. He's already got jumping reach of 15, heading of 14. We've got the perfect mentor for him in the first team in our mate Gronvold, who hopefully will give him some lovely player traits as well as passing on maybe that fairly determined personality that he's got. Maybe Victor Johansson Nyholm might go on to be a first team starter, and we've brought him on as a sub in a friendly. He's already scored a goal, and I know it sounds obvious when he's 6'7", but he is huge. So there is our youth intake. Who are the best of them? I reckon this boy Gersa might just be a player. Overlook the little downward arrows. They always make things look a little bit worse than they are. I think Hugo Turnison could be a player. Needs a bit of work, but you never know. I think Borch might be a centre-half of the future. And there's one we've not shown you. One who came through as either a defender or a striker, and I don't think he has the attributes for either of those. I'm rebranding him as a midfielder. This is Ludwig Dreyer. Professional personality, love it. Determination of 11, fine. Why don't I think he's going to be a defender? Well, he came through with marking of 6, although he's already improving. And positioning of 5, even though there's got an upward arrow there. An aggression of 5. And at 5'11", when you've only got acceleration of 6 and pace of 7, I don't think you've got a future as a centre-half. So he could also play as a target man, but finishing of 6 and a target man that's 5'11", I wasn't sure, but he looks like he could be a really decent midfielder. First touch, 14. Passing of 8, vision of 8, teamwork and work rate coming along nicely, physicals that look like they could all get to 10. I reckon this guy could be a central midfielder, and I also think Ludwig Dreyer might just be the best of the players that came through. Needs a little bit more work, needs polishing up, but there you go. There is our class of 2021. These are the boys we're pinning our hopes on. I said that if we got 3 that were perhaps potential first teamers of the future, I'd be happy. I reckon we might have 4, maybe even 5 that could be in or around the first team by the start of next season. Well, we've got this season to worry about. We have got a cup game today, and the draw has not been kind to us. So here is the pre-season form. You can see we've had another good pre-season. We're very limited in who we can take on friendlies against. We're so far north in Norway that most teams won't travel to us, so we have to play the local teams. We had another game against Tromsdalen, who have now been promoted back to the top flight. We beat them 2-0, and look at the XG. We were by far the better team in this game, so that was pretty encouraging. We played Alta, who are a team that are predicted to finish 3rd in our division this season. We had an XG of above 3, and we stuck 6 goals past them. So that was pretty good as well. We conceded 3 goals as well, but we brought on a lot of our youngsters and our reserves when we were already about 5-1 up, and we conceded a couple more goals. So that was a good performance. Today, we are playing Lyn from Oslo in the Cup. They are a team that may be in the division below us, but they have won the Norwegian Cup 8 times, and they've won the Norwegian Premier Division twice. I think a few years ago they were declared bankrupt and they had to reform in the amateur leagues. They're back up to the 4th tier. This is a good team. I mean, look at their key player. Attribute masking means we can't see too much about him, but the pace is absolutely frightening. Our right back, Mr. Lover Loveland, today, I think he's going to have one of his tougher games. Here are our boys. It's pretty much everybody that played last season. We've got Mikkelsen in goal, although our mate Theodore Nilsson is getting pretty fed up of being a backup goalie. So we're going to try and give him a little bit of game time this season. Here's Trygve Kristoffersen, who is not having the best of times trying to adapt to life out there as a left back, but he's the only player we've got at the club. A player who is strong is Tobias Vibe. He's over 30 now, but he is a 6'5" centre half. We are still trying to work on Henrik Hansen being his partner at the back there, but again, he's not always putting in great performances back there. Hopefully this is going to be his breakthrough season. We're now playing Andreas Loveland as our right back. He's getting better and better at playing in that position, so he looks good. Over on the right, we're going to go with Lars Henrik Andreasen, who performed pretty well there last season when Mr. Kind Bendiksen, probably still our best player, was out injured a lot. Bendiksen's going to move over, and we're going to play a playmaker in midfield this season alongside Anders Carlson as a central midfielder with a defend function. Over on the left, we've got a pacey winger in Adrian Pedersen, I should say. He played pretty well last season, has had a great pre-season as well. Hopefully, that midfield can supply the ammunition for the big man up front, who is a target man who, well, you don't get him like this very often. He's got great strength. He's got long shots as well. He's got determination. He's got bravery. Maybe you'd like a little bit more aggression, but he's also got some great player traits. And we have got an ageing but still pretty useful Vegard Leesvold as our main goal threat up front. And these are the boys that we're going to be relying on today in a cup game against Lyn that I think could be a giant killing, because I don't think they are going to be any kind of weak opponent. Here we go then, Season 2 is underway. Last season was pretty successful, but we saw that at Kettering when we had a good first season, and then Season 2, the wheels came off. This is going to be a tough game for us today, but if it was to go well, we've got 3 of our youngsters on the bench, including Ludwig Dreyer, and Gürsa, the right winger. We'd love to be in a position to bring both of those boys on, but I think even though this is a team from a lower division, I actually think they've got a much better squad than we have, and we could go into this game in a little bit of trouble. Who knows? We'll see how it pans out. Love to get a win. Conscious of the fact that so far we've shown you 3 episodes where we've played a fixture. And we have got 3 defeats so far, so I'd desperately like to get a win. Probably shouldn't have come back for this game, to be honest, but hey, you don't come here to watch successful teams, you come here to watch a bitter struggle, and that is what we've been delivering on so far. Here we go then, Bendixson gets the ball into the box. We're playing with this Bendixson as a playmaker this season, seeing if we can be a little bit more creative. Hopefully he can feed the wide players, as he did there. We'll see how it goes. The board were pretty happy with us last season. We finished in 4th place in the end. They were more than happy with that. But there was a little mention of them not being very impressed with the style of football we were playing. So we're going to try and use our playmaker to maybe score a few more goals this season if possible. Maybe play a slightly more attractive brand of football. We'll see how it goes. We might need to shelve it all and go back to our hoofball tactic if the wheels look like they're going to come off this season. And I know we're playing a team from the division below, but I'm actually going to say that that first half does not look half bad, you know. 6 shots, 3 on target. 8 shots, 4 on target. We had a late one and an XG of 0.7. I'm going to say that that's okay. I'm not sure the boys need to hear that though. Let's go with that was definitely not good enough. We've got our mate Trygve Kristoffersen playing a 6.3. We could have done with a great left back coming through that youth intake. Kristoffersen wants to be a left winger and I think we can turn him into a decent one. He's the only guy we've really got that can play out there at left back. Fullbacks don't tend to get the best rating for me in FM21. Not sure what I'm doing wrong there. But ones that are playing out of position seem to regularly get below 6s. Thought we were through them, but no. It's gone through to their keeper, the Knutson. The highlight continues, and they have got in behind us, and they've got around the sides of us, and they've got a player called Ronaldo, who I'm guessing must be pretty decent. We've hacked it clear, not for long though, have we? And we are camped out on the edge of our own 18-yard box. And goodness me, we were almost in trouble there, weren't we? We might need to get on the old shouts in a moment. Maybe demand a little bit more from them. In fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. We've still only got 8 shots, 4 on targets. We've not had a shot this second half. It's highlight time again, and it's Lynn. Send the ball into the box, but that's why we're not playing the 5'9" keeper. Instead, we're playing Mikkelsen. We've got it wide, Pedersen. He's got the big man in the box if he can find him. Oh, he's gone alone. Twice. Grunwald. Oh, he had an open goal. And he's nodded it over the bar. Still, better since we put the shout out. If this is our highlight, it's going to be a counter-attacking one again, though. Vibe heads it clear. And I don't think it is going to be our highlight, is it? Oh, we've lunged in. Oh, God, and they've struck the base of the post. All right, I think we might need to make a little change. We don't have huge amounts on the bench. What have we got that we can bring on, and who is playing badly? Carlson is playing badly. Kristoffersen is playing very badly. I don't think we really have an awful lot that we can do to switch him out of the game. I think the one change we might make is we might bring on this guy Mathiasen for Leesvold, who has not really impressed that much. And let's get back out there again. Not sure whether it's extra time or replays in Norway. We didn't have the cut last season. Oh, and Grunwald means that we might not need it this season. Oh, the big man, 6'4". What a resplendent target man this guy is. At Kettering, we couldn't buy a goal from corners. At Tromsdalen, we have scored plenty of them. Vibe coming up from the back at 6'5" is a threat as well. Grunwald is always a threat from set pieces. Looking good. Grunwald's up again. Can't get on the ball though. We've still got it though. Playing through the midfield, which is nice. Here's the playmaker, showing exactly why Maybe you should be going out there on the right-hand wing with a terrible ball through. Although he's got all the player traits, by the way, of a playmaker. He's only got vision of 9. I'm not convinced by him. And we are defending a little bit again, aren't we? Got 15 minutes left. I think we need to drop the mentality if we can get out of this little passage of play without conceding. We can, but only just. I think we're going down to cautious. And I think we're also going to try and control the play a little bit as well. And I also think we've got a couple more subs up our sleeve that we need to bring on. Still doing the better in terms of the match stats. Given the ball away again, haven't we? Are we going to throw away a winning position? Hopefully not. Pretty quick to the ball. We're trying to close down a little bit more this season as well, which might leave us a little bit out of shape at times, but I'm going to try and win the ball back a little bit quicker than we did last season. Here's Pedersen. He's got the ball across again. Oh, Andreasen's had a shot. Okay, time for sub number 2. They've gone 3 up front. I see what they're up to. All right, what are we going to do to combat the 3 up front? We know that Carlson is quite happy slotting in at the back here. I think we're going to take the big man off and we're going to bring Ludwig Dreyer on. I know he's only 16 and I know he doesn't actually know how to play in central midfield yet. If we just bring him on as a cheeky little ball winner, let's see what he can do in there. I reckon Lynn are going to try and attack us for this last 10. And I reckon they've got players that could cause us some problems. So if we can escape from this with a 1-0, we'll be more than happy. We're going to do a little time-wasting substitution down at the end there. I think we might bring on Bratton on the right-hand side. No more youngsters today, I think. We'll just stick with Dreyer. We can scrape into the next round, get some much-needed money in the coffers as well, because we are hemorrhaging cash out here in Norway. And we're a little bit above our wage budget after giving out some new contracts as well. Well, if we could get a bit of prize money for this, that would be good. There's our first little look at Dreyer in the first team in a competitive game. I reckon we're going to be seeing plenty of him this season. I think he could train into a good midfielder. He's let the ball go past him there, but I think he's on it now. What's he got? Perfect. And we're through, and it's Matthias, and he could win this one. Oh, he's tried to dink it. I think he's hit the defender. Oh, that was a chance. Decent chance. Well, now we just need to get in. Get in. We've got the ball. Where's the... Oh, he's blown up. We have one. Clean sheet. Good. Get plenty of those in pre-season. We were leaking goals all over the shop at the end of last season, so that's not bad. Let's say, well done, lads. That was a good win for us. And we are up and we are running in Season 2 of Sub-Zero Hero. We're making progress in the Cup. We've got our first league fixture of the season just around the corner. We've just blooded one of our youngsters in a big cup tie already. I think we've got some decent prospects coming through. We're going to see you once we've got a few of these league games under our belt, and hopefully this is not Kettering all over again.